Hi Kogila, how are you?
Fine, sir. What about you?
I'm absolutely fine, thank you. So can you tell us something about yourself?
Okay. Hi, good day. Thanks for interviewing me. Myself, Kokila Muthu. I had completed my engineering in Power Engineering College at Namakkal in the year of 2016. I had totally 2.8 years of experience in software manual testing. Currently, I'm working in one of the project-based company. My company name is Intertop Technologies, and my role is to deliver a quality product to the customer with zero defect and satisfying their needs. And my responsibilities are understanding the requirements from high level design documentation, and then identify the test scenarios of the application. Then I will prepare the test case for the test scenario. Then I will prepare the test data for the test case, and then I will execute the test case with help of the test data. And then I will identify the valid bug and report to the developer, and then continues the defect tracking process until the defect got closed, and maintain the documents until the project got closed. The documents are test plan, a test planning document, test case document, test case execution document, bug reporting document, and then test closure document. And then uh, uh, I will provide the demo to the client. In every Tuesday, we have the demo session. Literally, in that session, we have to provide the details about process of the project, and then finally attending the project audit call to explain what are the things happen in this project. That's it.
Great. So you are giving demo to the client every Tuesday.
Yeah, yes.
Okay. So consider a situation where you have tested some particular user story, but during the demo to the client, one bug came up. So how will you handle this kind of situation? So when you are showing the
I'm
demo to
not.
the client, yeah. Is it
Yeah,
audible?
okay.
Yeah. So
Yes, yes.
So when you are showing the demo to the client, for example, you might be having a Facebook kind of application for which you are showing a demo to them, and you are accepting the friend request, and it is showing internal server error. Now you had tested this particular story earlier, but during the demo, while showing this demo, this bug came up. So how will you handle this kind of situation?
Okay, that time I will check my test evidence document,
Mm.
which and where I can miss that bug in my system testing.
Mhm. Okay, but do you think like your screen might be getting shared, you are giving the demo. There are other people also who are on the client, who are in that call with you, apart from your team members, stakeholders, customers, clients are there. So will you open all those test evidence documents at that time?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, you will open. Okay, see, that is fine. You can open. Maybe they are uploaded in some OneDrive in SharePoint, so it will take some time. So meanwhile, what you can just tell one kind of statement is, we had tested this particular thing earlier. Maybe somehow this has got broken. So we will test it, we will retest it, and we will get it fixed again as soon as possible. Right? This is how you can address this kind of situation during the demo if it happens like that.
Okay.
Okay. Right. So this is how you can do. Okay. Now let's say you have got some requirements, you have got some user story from the client, and you had a grooming session also, but still you are not comfortable with what has been mentioned in the user story. Still you are having doubts, still you are having some confusion, right? You are not able to completely understand that particular requirement. So what will be your approach then? Will you start writing the test cases, or what will you do?
I'm not clear about the questions.
Okay, no worries. See, whenever you get requirements, even if you are not able to understand, let's say there are 10 different acceptance criteria, for example, in that user story, 9 you are able to understand. Even if one single requirement or acceptance criteria you are not able to understand, then you have to collaborate with the business analyst, you have to collaborate with the
Yes,
project managers, PO, or maybe you can discuss with test leads, you can discuss with test managers, and you can have a one-on-one session also if possible with them, and get that requirement
Yes.
understanding first. Then only you have to start writing the test cases. So very simple answer, you have to
Yes.
collaborate with the other team members. You will be seeking the information from them,
Yes.
and then you will be moving
Yeah.
further. So no need to jump
Okay.
to writing test cases in this particular context, right? First understand the requirements and
Yes.
then move to the next step. So it's a step-by-step procedure. Okay.
Okay.
You can also discuss the same thing with the developers, with peers, and if they are also having the similar problems, right? And whatever help you can get, so that help you have to take regarding resolving those kind of ambiguities and possible solutions you have to figure out. Okay. Okay, right. So this was good. So in your resume, it has been mentioned that you are actually using SOAP UI Postman tool for API testing, right?
Yeah,
So,
I know only the basics of API and the SQL.
okay, let's say if I give you some particular API for testing, okay. Now, for example, there is an API for login into the Amazon login page, right? So in the front end, what we will do, we will enter the username, we will enter password, we will click on login button via UI perspective. But if I,
Yes.
for this functionality, if I give you an API with endpoints, right, then how will you test that particular API? You can tell from the basic
First of
perspective.
all,
Yes. Yes, yes, please go ahead.
okay. First of all, I will check the URL, and then I will um execute that URL link. Then I will find the user's details.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
No worries. See, this is a mock interview. Even if you are not comfortable with the question, then you can upfront, let us know. So we will answer the question on your behalf. So if this question is asked to you in a real-time interview, so what you have to answer is, see, you will identify the parameters for that API, right? So as I mentioned, it's a login API. So you will have parameters like username, password, right? That you will have to provide, and then only you can hit that API, right? Then which is the API method, which is the method for that API. For this example, it would be post method. On the similar lines, it can be get method, it can be delete, put, right? So those all methods can be possible. But
Post.
yeah, this will be post because you are actually giving the data, you are supplying, you are providing the data to the API. And then you will see when, okay, now again, the test scenarios, what you can test is, you will enter, you will provide proper username and proper password in the parameters in the request body. Then the response should come as 200 okay. So one assertion you can keep like response is coming 200 okay or not, right? Then you enter invalid username and valid password and vice versa, valid username and invalid password, then the response code should not be 200 okay, right? Then
Yes.
uh, yeah, it might give you 401 as the response code, unauthorized error it might give you. Okay, then what you have to do is, the another thing that you can test is, don't put any parameters and just hit the API. Keep the parameters as blank. Then see what is the response you are getting, right? Then fourth, you can also do testing of, now for example, as it's a login based API, right? So whenever you are logging in, so there will be some kind of access token that would have got generated, right? So what is the validity of that access
Yeah.
token? Maybe that token might be getting expired after 15 minutes, after 10 minutes, after 20 minutes. So hit the API after that and then see whether every time the dynamic token is getting created, every time the new token is being created on the fly, on the runtime, right? This is how you can test. Is it fine?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Now, you were mentioning you know some basics of Postman. So can you please elaborate what exactly do you know about Postman tool?
A Postman is a API testing tool. Postman is a collaborative platform for application programming interface development, and uh,
Anything else? So you were actually going in a very right direction. As you were mentioning that Postman is an open source tool, it's an API testing tool. So that is a good thing. That's a valid answer that you are giving. Anything else apart from that? You will have, I'll give you a hint. You will have collections. You will be able to create environment variables in that local, global environment variables you will have. You will be able to run APIs one after the another. So
yes,
that dependency kind of thing is handled by Postman itself. Right? Then you will have global variables, collection variables, and local variables, right?
yes.
Hmm. Right? Okay. So what is the difference between global variables, collection variables, and local variables? Or I would ask, when do we use global variables, collection variables, and local variables?
Uh, Global variable means if the product is
Mhm.
if the product is work in any culture or local is called as global variable.
Mhm.
And then local means the product is work in a specific culture, and local
Mhm.
is called as local variable.
Okay. And what about collection variables?
Sorry, I don't know.
Okay, no worries. See, global variables are nothing but a general purpose variables, right? They are used while passing data to other requests. Okay. While collection variables are mostly used for storing some constants that do not change during the execution of the collection. Those are collection variables, right? For example, if you have to use some kind of constants that do not change, those are static. Like for example, URLs, authentication credentials, login, login password, these kind of credentials. If only one environment, so these are collection variables. Now, local variables are the ones which are available only within one request. Okay, once that particular request is being executed via Newman or collection runner, then those will be used. But those will be their their existence would be within that particular execution till the time of execution only. Okay. Okay. So how will you iterate a request 100 times in Postman? For example, if you have to run a particular API request for 100 times in Postman, then what will you do?
Don't know.
Okay, you can use collection runner in that case, right? Collection runner is actually a very good feature in Postman with the help of which you can iterate a request n number of times. Which programming language has been used in Postman? Do you have any idea on that?
Java, JSON.
JavaScript is used, right?
Mm.
Okay, fine. Okay. Now you might be using Google Map, right?
Yes.
Now, can you tell me the positive test scenarios and negative test scenarios for Google Map testing? How will you test a Google Map application? First, positive and then negative.
First, verify the user can able to access, search this map, um, and then verify the user can able to I'm sorry, I'm little nervous about it.
No worries, no worries. See, don't get nervous at all. Okay. See, what I would suggest is, if you think, out, if you want to think test scenarios, and if you are also feeling nervous, then automatically you won't be able to think on the test scenarios or exact test cases what you have to test, right? Consider this as don't think at all like it's a kind of an interview. Just think like it's kind of an interaction that we are doing. I am a junior member in your team. I want to learn some things from you, and you have to explain it to me like, I have got a Google map functionality for testing, and now being a team lead, or you can say you are a senior person in your team, so you have to guide me what all test cases or what all test scenarios should I perform in order to make sure that quality is not compromised, right? So think from that angle. In a real time interview also, don't get nervous, because nothing is going to go from your hand. Your salary is not going to get deducted. They're not going to take any money from you even if you don't perform well. There are many other chances, many other opportunities that you will get, right?
First of all, verify the user can able to search the search bar. That search bar is working as per the specification. And then next, verify the user can enter the current location and then destination. And then after entering the destination, verify can navigate to the road map or a direction and start. And then verify the users can visible all the routes clearly, and then verify if the users can um, access the routes easily. And then if the negative scenario means if we have too many destinations, and then we have to check how the map should be working. And then
Mhm. So negative is you are giving some particular place and that it's not getting fetched. That is what you are telling.
yes.
Okay, okay, fine. So I'll tell you first positive test scenarios, and then we will discuss about negative as well. So in the positive, as you were mentioning it very rightly, you will be verifying whether the user is able to enter the city or place name into the text field properly or not, right? Then the second will be verify if the user enters the city or place name into a text field, then auto suggestion kind of functionality is there. So auto suggested names should be displayed below the text box. For example, you enter Varanasi, then just for example, then Vishakhapatnam or places starting with V should get displayed. So those kind of auto suggestion options should come. Then uh, one of the test scenario would be verify user is able to select options from the auto suggestion or not. Then you will be checking whether the selected place should be displayed on the screen with the detailed information with multiple routes. For example, there is one particular route which is touching the highway. There is another route which is not touching the highway. So such kind of options Google Maps should display. Then uh, then you can also validate the distance should be displayed and the time, approximate time that it can take, right? Then you can also check if the user searches any place via satellite option is there. Then the search result should be displayed in the satellite view, right? Then you can also verify if a user clicks on the traffic button, then the user is able to see live traffic on the screen, right? Then you can also validate if the user clicks on the street view button, then the user should be able to see the street view screen, right? The zoom in functionality on the Google Map should work. Then zoom out functionality on the Google Map should work, right? So these are the positive test cases. Okay, is it clear now?
Yeah, okay.
Right. Now moving to the negative test cases. The search, the whichever the search results are there, those should not be displayed with a blank field, right? So any search kind of option should display, or if it is not there, then some kind of user-friendly message should display, like it has not been there, or some user-friendly message should come, right? then if you enter any invalid input text, then what is the search showing that you can check? Then you can also then you can also verify if a user enters a long distance location, like if you are in India and you are entering USA, right? Then the Google should display a message like, sorry, we could not calculate directions from India to USA, right? So that's how you can test, right? Then one of the testing you can also do is you can switch off the internet or data connection from your mobile, and then you can try to search what happens, right? So that is there. Or you can see if your mobile is connected via Wi-Fi or via hotspot, and that Wi-Fi or hotspot itself is off, then are you getting any search options or not? Those things you can test. Okay. So, Kogila, how many team members are working with you for testing in your team? How many testers are there?
In my team, we have 14 members
Okay.
and we have 30 developers.
30 developers are there and total members are 40.
Yes, 14 testers.
14 testers are there. Wow, big
Yes,
team, right? So many modules, many functionalities would be there, right? So
yes.
how do you divide the testing work? For example, if any multiple user stories come, do you divide on the basis of user stories? Do you divide on the basis of modules? Do you do the division of the work on the basis of functionalities, feature? How do you divide the task among your team members?
Uh, First of all, team leader is going to do this task,
Mm,
and based on the requirement, the team leader is divide the task to every testers.
mhm. Okay, great. Based on requirement. So you mean to say based on user story, you're telling.
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Okay. Now, can you tell me high-level test scenarios of how will you test a particular investment banking domain related application? It's an investment banking domain application. So how will you perform testing on that? Any idea or any guess you would like to make over here?
No, sir.
Mm-hmm. Okay. No worries. So first of all, when it comes to investment banking, so which are the very important terms in that, like stock exchanges there, stock, share, equity, these are the important things. Then what is the issue price, or you will say what is the value of one particular stock? Then IPO also test cases you can have. Then what is the dividend you are getting, bid price, ask price, futures. So these are the various terms and terminologies related to investment banking domain, right? So the very first thing that you can test is the UI UX perspective, right? Then you can go to the functional testing. For example, you can test the various stocks are listed properly or not, the quantities. If you, for example, if you order for 10 quantities, so accordingly the pricing is been displayed or not, right? Then what is the position of one particular stock based on the descending order or ascending order of their prices, whether it is displayed properly or not, right? So those things you can have. And then again, you will have your own personal IDs, and you can also test the same functionality with the help of other users, like brokers are there, dealers are there, or some kind of investors are there, individuals are there. So based on their user permissions, based on their roles, you can also do the testing. Then you can also perform testing on various functionalities like buying order, selling order, changing the order, or if you will be verifying if you cancel some particular order, then that particular functionality is working fine or not, right? Then you can also test the security of the application, that it should not contain any personal data of the users, right? You can test the calculations part of the application, right? You can test with respect to the various localization test cases, right? So this is how end-to-end testing you can perform of the investment banking domain.
Okay.
Okay, Kogila, I'm done with the interview. Do you have any questions for me?
No, sir.
Yeah. Okay, then
I'm
it was.
not answered properly.
See, no worries. It is actually the good thing is that it's a mock interview, right? And you know where you have to improve, right? And what I am feeling is like um, you are actually knowing the answers. The answers are already there in your mind because the introduction that you gave, you are involved in all those kind of testing activities, whether it is testing strategy, whether it is testing approach, testing plan, giving demo to the clients. So you are doing the core testing that an individual has to do, right? It is just that you have to overcome your nervousness. You have to overcome the fear in the interview, and then automatically you will be able to give the answers very fluently and with full confidence in an interview, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Kogila, for coming on the channel and attending this mock interview. Wishing you all the best for your career.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.